And they want to control us just like a dictator.
Tonight, we turn our eyes toward the Middle East, where once again the fragile balance of power has been rattled, this time by an Israeli airstrike targeting Yemen's capital, Sanaa. The strike hit deep inside Houthi-controlled territory, a place already marked by years of war, famine and suffering. But when Israel strikes, it is never just about one city or one group. It always carries with it layers of meaning, military strategy, political signalling and psychological warfare. And if we don't peel back those layers, we risk seeing only smoke while missing the fire burning underneath. This isn't just another news story. This is a pattern, a blueprint of how nations communicate through violence, how conflicts thousands of miles apart are tied together, and how the ordinary people on the ground become unwilling messengers in a global power game. Israel's strike on Sanaa is not isolated. It is connected to Gaza, to Iran, to the Red Sea shipping routes, and ultimately to the larger chessboard of power where superpowers test each other's resolve. So let us break it down. Israel says the Houthis, backed by Iran, have been launching drones and missiles, threatening not only Israel, but also international shipping lanes in the Red Sea. These waters are some of the most critical trade arteries in the world, where oil, goods and power itself flow. Disrupt the Red Sea, and you shake economies across Europe, Asia and the United States. By striking Sanaa, Israel is not only trying to weaken the Houthis, it is sending a message to Tehran: we know where your influence runs, and we will strike at the heart of it. But pause for a second. Think about Yemen itself, a country already shattered by nearly a decade of civil war, where children starve, where infrastructure lies in ruins, where foreign powers treat it like a chessboard. The Houthis, who hold Sanaa, have positioned themselves as both defenders of Yemen's sovereignty and as extensions of Iran's regional strategy. Israel knows this, which means every missile fired into Sanaa isn't just about military targets. It is about symbolism. It is about breaking the will of an enemy, showing dominance, and reminding the world that Israel is ready to expand its battlefield if it feels threatened. Now ask yourself this: why now? Why strike Yemen at this exact moment? The answer lies in timing. Israel has been under immense pressure internationally over its campaign in Gaza. Accusations of war crimes, civilian casualties, and diplomatic isolation have left it searching for a way to project strength without looking cornered. Striking Sanaa accomplishes two things at once. It diverts global attention and reframes Israel as the defender, not the aggressor. By pointing to Houthi missiles and drones, Israel can argue, we are under attack. We are protecting freedom of navigation. We are keeping the Red Sea safe. It is a narrative carefully crafted to resonate with the West, especially with Washington and European capitals that depend on those shipping routes. But let's not be naive. Narratives are powerful, but they are not always truth. The truth is that every bomb dropped on Sanaa deepens the wounds of a nation already bleeding. The truth is that while Israel claims self-defense, these strikes risk expanding a war that already feels endless. And the truth is that Yemen, like Gaza, like Lebanon, has become another battleground where ordinary families pay the price for regional rivalries. History reminds us of something crucial: wars are not just fought with weapons. They are fought with perception, with fear, and with the manipulation of international opinion. Israel's leaders know this. By attacking Sanaa, they are not just striking at Houthis, they are staging a performance for the world. They want Iran to see it. They want Hezbollah to see it. They want Washington to see it. And they want every critic to know Israel will not stay confined to Gaza or the West Bank. It will strike anywhere it sees a threat. But here's where it gets deeper. The Houthis have declared themselves defenders of Palestinians. They have said openly, as long as Gaza burns, as long as children die, we will strike Israel and its allies. For them, every missile fired toward Eilat or Tel Aviv is an act of solidarity. So when Israel strikes Sanaa, it is striking at that narrative of solidarity. It is saying, if you claim to defend Gaza, you will pay the price inside Yemen itself. And so the cycle of violence spins faster. Yemen becomes tied even more tightly to Gaza. Iran watches closely, calculating how far Israel is willing to go. The United States, already entangled in supporting Israel militarily, is dragged deeper into guaranteeing security in the Red Sea. And ordinary Yemenis, already crushed by poverty, already broken by hunger, find themselves once again under fire for decisions made in Tehran, Tel Aviv and Washington. Now let's step back and ask the hard question. Does this strike make Israel safer? Does it reduce the number of rockets that may fall on Israeli cities? Or does it expand the battlefield? pulling new enemies into a war that already feels uncontainable. History shows us that airstrikes alone rarely break movements like the Houthis. If anything, they fuel anger, recruit more fighters, and deepen resolve. For every building destroyed in Sanaa, for every civilian casualty, the Houthis gain another reason to continue their struggle. And yet, Israel knows this. So why strike anyway? Because in geopolitics, sometimes the goal is not victory, it is survival. Israel's leaders are calculating day by day, trying to prove strength to their own people, to their allies, and to their enemies. They believe that weakness invites attack. They believe that hesitation signals vulnerability. And so they choose action, swift, brutal, and dramatic, even if it creates new enemies tomorrow. This is where we must not only watch the headlines, but read between the lines. Israel's strike on Yemen is not just about drones, not just about Houthis, not just about shipping lanes. It is about shaping the narrative of who is strong, who is weak, who controls the Middle East. And in this war of narratives, truth itself becomes a casualty. So what should we, the people watching from afar, take away? We must remember that behind every airstrike are human lives. Behind every headline are families running for cover. And behind every political calculation are children who have no choice but to grow up under the shadow of war. Yemen deserves peace. Israel deserves security. Palestinians deserve justice. But none of them will find it through endless cycles of airstrikes and retaliation. What we are witnessing is not the solving of a problem, it is the deepening of it. And unless the world begins to confront not just the weapons, but the motives, not just the bombs, but the strategies, we will continue to see headlines like this one, Israel strikes Yemen again. And so I ask you, as you hear this, to go deeper than the sound bites. Don't just repeat what governments tell you. Don't just accept the narrative of self-defense or resistance. Ask who benefits from this strike, who pays the price, and who, in the end, is silenced while others speak through bombs. The people of Yemen did not choose this. They did not invite this. But once again, they find themselves caught in the crossfire of a conflict that stretches across borders, across ideologies, across generations. And unless we learn to see their suffering as more than collateral damage, the cycle will never end. This is the reality, harsh, painful, but undeniable. Israel's attack on Sanaa is not just a story of one night's bombing. It is a reflection of the entire Middle East crisis, condensed into a single strike. And as long as this pattern continues, as long as bombs replace dialogue, as long as power replaces justice, we will continue to see not peace, but escalation. So the next time you hear the words "Airstrike in Yemen," remember this, it is not just a strike. It is a message. It is a performance. It is a move in a deadly game of chess played by leaders while their people suffer. And unless the world finds the courage to break that game, more cities will burn, more families will grieve, and more headlines will read exactly the same. The question we must ask ourselves tonight is not just, why did Israel strike Sanaa? But what will we do with the knowledge that it happened? Will we turn the page, scroll past and forget? Or will we finally say enough is enough? This cannot go on forever. Because in the end, wars only end when people demand it. And if the people of Yemen, the people of Gaza, the people of Israel, and yes, the people of the world, do not raise their voices, then the bombs will continue to speak louder than any human being ever could. This is not just about Yemen. This is not just about Israel. This is about humanity and whether we have the courage to look at the truth, no matter how painful it may be.